Scooch in closer, everybody. Let's get all group hug. So, joining us today is Jed Blue.
Hello.
AKA Frobor.
Hello.
He does things.
He talks about Steven Universe and is a author. An acclaimed author.
I guess someone somewhere has probably acclaimed me for something.
Mommy Lover 49 blah 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 did.
That's true.
Wrote the books ML Pomo, My Little Pomo, and The Very Soil, all about Monica Magica. So if you like My Little Pony and Monica Magica and DCAU talk on his blog. What's your blog again, Jed?
JedBlue.com.
Yes.
So naturally, with a pedigree like that, we're talking about Doctor Strange.
Of course.
Yeah.
So as I predicted in the episode, almost a month later is when I actually got around to seeing it, because I've been busy with a bunch of crap.
And since it's like Black Friday and we're like, screw shopping, let's go see a movie.
Yep, I've been wanting to see it for a while, and since it's been out for a while, I don't think we need to really, start off with spoiler-free talk. We're just going to jump into spoiler stuff right away. Opinions. And Viga.
I thought it was going to be kind of but it was alright.
Jed.
That was pretty good.
Me. It was okay. It did not wow me, and that is kind of disappointing in that regard. I was hoping that it would be something, huge and, magnificent, and, rewrite the book on things, and of course, it wasn't. It was okay.
I really love the effects. And just whoever did all the 3D and effects and stuff, give them raises, because holy crap. I just wanted, what I wanted as a gag? For all of this, buildings going through and stuff sliding away and things blowing up. Just a painting of MC Escher going across the screen.
That would be a nice visual gag.
Yeah. That would have been a great visual gag.
My problem with it is not with those effects. And it's not the problem with the effects themselves, because they are cool and impressive. Its problem is, they clearly wanted to have very interesting and unique fight scenes with them, and it's not. I've seen this before. I've seen gravity-defying fights before. It was back when it was called The Matrix. Now, a fight that I actually did find impressive and really cool, the time reversal fight at the end.
Yes.
That was different.
When they sucked the woman back into the aquarium, I was like, okay, that was cool.
That was cool, funny, and awesome.
I just wish the whole movie had been like that.
Well, they did leave someone in a desert.
Yeah,
that fight scene was cool too, with the teleportation windows or whatever.
And I do like getting multiple shields.
Strange just barely holding his own and trying to figure out, creative ways of dealing with them and using what he had learned in the brief time he had been in there.
Okay, hear me out here. Doctor Strange version of Steven Universe. Whole movie's the same. It's just Steven trying to learn to use his shield the whole time. And then he brings two of them. That's what I want to do that as a fan art.
With like Doctor Strange with a Steven Universe shield?
Or Steven Universe dressed as Doctor Strange holding his shields like Doctor Strange does.
And only one of them collapses. One of the problems with the fact that, of how it did not wow me is the fact that the story is pretty much... I mean, my brother and I were talking about this yesterday during Thanksgiving, because, without spoilers when he was talking to me about this. It's just basically a superhero movie. This is a very basic superhero origin story, and although he compared it, basically it's the exact same plot as Green Lantern.
But you know what? For a basic superhero film, it got all the points right, and it was still very entertaining. It just didn't bring anything new, although it did, I guess you could say it brought something new to the Marvel Universe.
It brought something new to the Marvel Universe, which is good. And you know what? For a setup like this, it's good that they start basic with something that is kind of unfamiliar to the Marvel Universe, and that's magic. Even Thor's stuff has always been like technology disguised as magic. Just really goofy steampunk, not steampunk, but you know what I mean. Old school stuff masquerading as magic.
Everlasting beer glass.
That was great.
The mid-roll credit scene. I still don't get people walking out of the movie for a Marvel movie.
It's been how many years since the MCU started?
2008 was when Iron Man came out?
It's been almost a decade. Don't walk out at the end of the movie because there's more movie.
I mean, maybe if they had already seen it before, but a lot of people walked out of there.
Just Do they not?
It's a Marvel movie. Stay after the credits.
This is how you know how the Marvel nerds are in the audience. The ones that stay.
There's really just anybody who's seen a Marvel movie before.
Yeah.
Always. But anyway, in terms of the story itself, other basic things about it, it's basically a superhero origin story versus, say, Captain America movies, which, are a World War II piece, a political espionage thriller, and a ideological battle about people's rights.
Yeah.
The Marvel movies excel at being non-traditional superhero movies in places, the best ones anyway. And while I, of course, love superhero movies, again, this movie is not bad. It's not great.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs more. It needed more of the spiritual wisdom kind of a thing. I think, and part of that would have been something we talked about during the final confrontation with Dormammu, when Steven locks Dormammu in a time loop with himself. And Dormammu's like, but I will keep on killing you over and over again. He says, yes, it will. I will lose and stuff like that. But what should have happened, what there should have been a callback to what happened in the second act, when Steven, when Mordo says to him, and Mordo and the Ancient One, you have to learn to surrender. You have to surrender yourself to this sort of thing.
Oh no, Doctor Strange has been crushed.
Oh no! Like, you whispered that to me while it was happening. It feels like what he should have said to Dormammu was, I surrender.
Yeah. I mean, the concept was there. It's what he was doing was losing, making it not about him, and using his weakness as a form of power. But he never actually said the words.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe that was supposed to be implied with it so that you made the connections in your own head. But I feel like it needed some more proper Yoda wisdom kind of a thing. Proper spiritualistic, calm yourself down. Because he never really stops himself from being basically Dr. House in a superhero movie. Where because he never really, because he keeps studying the material, he doesn't get like a smack back to reality saying, crap, dude, you need to learn the proper way to do this. He's still taking shortcuts and doing things his own way. He never learns it feels like he doesn't properly learn to take a step back. These teachings are here for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, go ahead, Jed.
I was going to say, which almost means that Mordo is almost justified in turning against him. Like, the minute in the, after credit scene where he kills someone, okay, there goes his justification. But at least in the idea of...
I can't remember, did he actually kill him or just take away his magic?
Yeah, you're right, he just took away his magic. But he still, took away the guy's ability to walk. That's a bit harsh. Especially somebody who had nothing to do with...
Yeah, you just oh, hey, what's up? This is up.
Yeah. But at the same time, it makes sense for him to walk away. Because Strange has only taken shortcuts. He has only broken rules. He doesn't understand why they're there.
Yeah.
He is dangerous.
And they said Mordo, the Ancient One said Mordo's has a very rigid personality. He's very much about rules, order, how things should be.
Yep. And magic in itself is a perversion of the natural order of things. So
yeah, pretty much. So if you're really like that, why are you in magic?
Well, it's him having a new revelation about it, and it's the reckoning that he spoke of. He just didn't realize that he was the reckoning of his own mistakes. One thing that I definitely like about this movie is that the villains, I think, are handled very well. The problem with a lot of modern action movies, especially both Star Trek and the Marvel movies, a lot of it is characters wanting revenge. It's I want vengeance against something. I want to hurt someone else, kind of a thing. It's a very basic motivation, and it works. And it works for the most part. I mean, hell, even Ultron to a degree was about revenge. I mean, sure he was a much more complex villain in his own right when you actually stop and think about his actions, what he wants out of it, and just how screwed up he is in the head. But in the end, it was still daddy issues. I got to get vengeance for my creation, vengeance against humanity for rejecting my thing. But the villains in this one. And Mordo's not really a villain; he's an ally until the very end, which puts him one up on the Mordo in the comics, who's just mustache twirly evil guy. If you've seen the Strange Tales number 113, I think it's been a few weeks. The origin of Doctor Strange, where he's just another guy working for the Ancient One and going like, "Ha ha ha! I will have power." And he was working, and what I don't understand, and if they're gonna follow along with the comics and just modernize it with a proper motivation, how he will fall to Dormammu, because the comics, Baron Mordo is all about Dormammu. He's all about trying to get Dormammu here. So I'm not sure how this version of the character will get to the screw it, let Dormammu kill us all motivation, if that's the direction they go with, say, if they do Doctor Strange 2. Although, with the kind of threat that Dormammu faces, that could be another Avengers movie right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dormammu is pretty
powerful. He's Avengers level threat. But yeah, Mordo has solid motivations, because we've seen his character throughout the whole movie, his way of thinking, and of course, in the end, rejecting what Doctor Strange had to do in order to save the day, and, felt betrayed by the Ancient One, calling upon the powers of Dormammu as well.
Yeah, so everything he thought his life was turned out to be a lie. And realized that you have to do some bad stuff to do a good thing, and then he took that lesson and just doing a really bad thing that was probably resulted in an even worse bad thing.
The dude is clearly hurting right now and trying to make sense of something that he's been disillusioned by everything in his life. When you have a very solid foundation of how things work, what is right, what is wrong, to suddenly have that completely shattered around you, even Steven, who was the one who was pissed off at the Ancient One originally, tells him she was very complex, and he's just like, complex? He doesn't understand the concept that there could be complexities with this kind of a thing.
Oh God, he turned into an emo song.
No.
Circa 2004.
No.
Welcome to my life.
And the funny thing is, like, what you were saying, Viga, about somebody, like, having, like, the foundation of their world taken away from them, and having to find something new, that's basically where Doctor Strange was at the beginning of the movie.
And it's basically what happened to Mordo, which brought them there. So to have that happen twice now, man.
It's why they're the best villains is always a reflection of the hero. They are the dark mirror of everything they had. Now, in this case, the actual villain in the movie is what's his name? Is it Cecilius? Cecilius. I think. Well, I probably got this wrong. It's a lot of syllables.
There's syllables.
Syllabilius.
Shambhala. It's the Wi-Fi password. What do you think we are? Primitive?
We're not savages.
I love how they have Wi-Fi.
Well, they still gotta email stuff. Maybe they gotta Google somebody. I mean, where did Wong get the Beyonce songs? Clearly, he had access to iTunes. But yeah, the actual, even the villain of this movie, Cecilius, assuming again I got the name right, he's motivated because he wants to be immortal. He wants everybody to be immortal. He thinks that bringing Dormammu in will grant the universe immortality, and everyone can live forever. And because he lost his own family that way, it's not about revenge. It's about, I don't want to lose anyone else in my life. But of course, he's also willing to take shortcuts to do it, and will kill even his own minions in order to accomplish this.
Yep. Which is I really liked, like you were saying, that the villains here have more complex motivations, because, like you were saying, before this, we basically had revenge villains and greed villains, and that's been basically it. Like, the only real exceptions, like, the only villains in the MCU that I really found compelling were Loki and Purple Man.
And I have not seen Jessica Jones, so sadly, I do not know.
Oh, man, you gotta watch this show.
Yeah, that's probably the best villain in the MCU.
I haven't seen any of the Marvel TV series, so I don't know if Luke Cage has good villains either.
I haven't watched it yet.
The biggest flaw in Luke Cage is that they have a kind of interesting villain for the first half, and then the villain for the second half sucks.
So, Great villains in this movie. I mean, a lot of it is it feels like subtext, but I like the fact that it's different in that regard. This movie's not too heavy on the humor.
Yeah, it really isn't. It has very few humorous moments.
But they're good humorous moments. They're very light humor, like when Strange manages to lock up Cecilius inside of like the mechanism that kind of holds him a prisoner, or he like takes off the restraint over his mouth. Like, did I need to put this back on you?
Or like the Stan Lee cameo where he's reading a book about perspective or whatever.
And my favorite was just anything to do with the cape of levitation.
Oh yeah,
That thing was hilarious.
It's like,
you know what I just realized
it
it made me think of
What?
is the carpet from Aladdin.
it's the magic carpet
Yes.
from Aladdin. Got a personality, so the doctor keeps trying to get to like an axe with like, dude. But yeah, he's the cape seems to follow his philosophy, which is he doesn't want to kill, and I think that there should also be more. I think that there should have been more focus on Strange's feelings about that, the fact that he just killed a man, and
well,
Doctor Strange feels like one of the weakest links in his own movie, because it feels like there's not enough of an arc here. And it's not just the surrender bit. It's that early on, they establish his arrogance, but he's still a bit too likable. I mean, you look at Tony Stark's character arc, he's an asshole for the entire first act of the movie. Sure, he might have some good quality parts to him, but he believes his own hype about, my weapons don't kill people, they're just defense, who cares? Oh, I'm gonna have sex with this woman and then I call her, that kind of thing. They establish him as he's a complete prick, and then he has to undergo a transformation where he becomes a better person. And he's still a prick while being a better person, but he is a better person.
and even like when we last left him in the MCU, it's still questionable whether you like him or not after the events of Civil War.
But then you have, but Strange. I mean, sure. The most assholey thing about him is that he picks his cases, possibly based off of his own interests.
Oh, did you notice that one of the cases was
Rhodey.
was Rhodey? The very first thing, he's like, guy who's got his things crushed by some armor or whatever.
Yeah, a colonel who got his lower spine crushed by some kind of armor.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
Meh.
I'm curious about the girl with the chip in her head who got struck by lightning. I feel like that has to be a Marvel character's origin story, but I have no idea who it would be.
Oh, and they have schizophrenia.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know who it is. I do not. I'm sure the commenters will point out who it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most assholey thing about him, is that he's not willing to just take on everyone, even though he could help these people. It was just, I only want to take on the most interesting cases. But otherwise, he was right and helped save a guy's life when another person was going to declare them brain dead.
Yeah, and like, other person fucked up. Well, no, you didn't. I saved it. Aha.
And that's and while you could construe that as basic arrogance, at the same time, he was trying to save a life there.
Yeah.
And he rushed to go. I was like, oh my god, we got to go stop this before they cut him up for organs. So that was a problem.
That part
and he had good-natured banter with his love interest, who disappears right after the Ancient One dies.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, what do you really do with that character afterwards?
You have to have resolution. You had her in previous scenes where they clearly had a complex relationship. You go to the end and you have them say, "No, I can't do this," or "I'll be here for you when you get back." That kind of thing.
Yeah, but then that would put her in like girl in waiting type of role.
Possibly, but otherwise,
really, I would just like maybe some sort of comedic banter at the end, where she's just like, "This stuff is strange," or something like that.
Or like I was saying earlier that before the video that I would have liked a scene where she says to him like, I've got emergency room stuff to do. I can't have all this weird crap happening all the time. This has to end because I have a job to do.
You keep bringing in these ancient bodies and magic stuff. Do they even have insurance? and then we bust out laughing in the car.
We try to think, and I was trying to figure out, how does that work when you have a foreign national get injured in another country where they have a very different healthcare system?
Look. I'm not in the ER all the time, but still.
But yeah, that's the thing. It should have been some scene to bring resolution to that subplot. Otherwise, again, it just peters out and she's just gone. And if they weren't going to go anywhere with it, I mean, sure, there were plot points. They came back into each other's lives, but then nothing afterwards.
Yep.
It just Doctor Strange stands in front of a window and looks cool.
Right.
Looks at the watch for a moment, but we don't know what he's feeling. We don't know if he's saying if he's thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get back together with this woman, or yeah, I can't see her anymore. We don't know. It's just in the air. Well, he's got a 4:00 with Thor.
And like with what you were saying about like he doesn't have enough of an arc, I feel like they were kind of phoning that in because we've had Iron Man, we've had Ant-Man, arguably Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, guy is a prick, then over course of movie learns not to be. They've gone to a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point they're just doing it by the numbers.
Although I would argue you against that that Ant-Man is not in that vein. He's trying to do good. He's trying to do right. He was in prison, but he's trying to make a new life for himself. It's just people won't hire him because he's an ex-con. And he's not an asshole about it. It's just he's at the end of his rope and he wants to support his daughter. And that's not an asshole thing for to do. In this case, Doctor Strange is supposed to be an asshole to begin with, and then learns to be humble after he loses the thing that he's so arrogant about.
So let's drop Ant-Man out of that list and replace it with Thor.
Yeah, I can see that. But it's a good character arc.
And I do think that Doctor Strange and Thor teaming up would be like makes more sense than Doctor Strange than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm very glad that looks like that Strange is probably going to play a supporting role in Thor Ragnarok. Although that seems to hint at a few things about Thor Ragnarok that make me raise an eyebrow. Because when we last left off in Thor the Dark World, Loki was impersonating Odin, but the conversation between Thor and Doctor Strange was that he and Loki were looking for Odin. So something happens in that movie. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So what else about the movie that we liked and hated?
Like I said, I like the time travel. I like how we defeated Dormammu.
Yes, that was awesome.
And that is a good third act callback because when Doctor Strange was first experimenting with time magic, they very much said, what could result from this? Temporal causality problems, the space-time continuum breaking down, time loops. And in this case, Strange uses that to his advantage to lock Dormammu in a time loop so that keep killing me as much as you want, but now Earth is safe because we ain't going nowhere. And Dormammu has no concept of this because he lives in a timeless universe, which
I just kind of realized the circle symbol, the swirlies and stuff.
Yep.
That's just a sideways version of the Dormammu symbol that shows up on people's heads, and that's in the book.
Huh? Maybe
it is. Want me to draw it?
No, not right now. I believe you. It's just like, I did not think of that.
Yeah, I could draw it on a piece of paper, and then just turn it to the side, put a circle around it. Oh, wait, I need some chips.
Oh, so the one for opening portals.
No, it's not. But
no,
it's
the mystic symbol that's on like all the Sanctum Sanctorums.
Yes.
If you rotate that 90 degrees, that's the symbol on people's foreheads when they got Dormammu powers. Dormammu, I have come to bargain. Everyone's been posting that in the Doctor Strange review, and now I get it.
Oh man!
They do that in the episode where I say I haven't seen the movie yet.
At least they didn't spoil the context.
Yeah, I know. Graham did that. No, I'm kidding.
But I was kind of on seeing this movie overall, but now that I've saw it, I'm like, I was entertained. I mean, it's not one of the best of the MCU. It's
a lesser entry.
Yeah.
But I'd still put it above something like Thor: The Dark World.
Upon reflection, some time later, Thor: The Dark World is probably the least good entry. I mean, I don't think any of the Marvel movies are bad.
Yeah.
But Thor: The Dark World, it feels like the most directionless because it's filler. It feels like filler for something else that's supposed to happen. The most important things that happen in that are the stuff with Loki.
Yeah.
Thor has a bit more of an arc in it, but not as much versus his original movie. And, just the fact that the Dark Elves or whatever are just such boring villains that, serve no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very, it's a lesser entry. It's just,
The Thor movies don't leave a very big impression. And
See, I
feel
like the first one.
I liked it. I liked the first one. The second one didn't leave much of an impression. Doctor Strange is kind of in that zone of Thor 1,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is an average Marvel movie. It's not great, it's not bad. It's a movie.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, no, Iron Man 2 is the worst, and I'm still confused about what the big problem is with Iron Man 2, because I like Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
Iron
it's
Man...
not as good as one or 3. But
yeah.
It's
decent.
not a very memorable Iron Man.
I thought it was memorable in its own right. It got War Machine, it got the suitcase armor, was it Draco? What was his name?
I think Drago.
Yeah.
Vanko. Ivan Vanko, another character motivated by revenge.
Yeah.
But he was still kind of interesting and had his funny moments.
Yeah.
And it led to some interesting things. I don't think it's that great, but I don't think it's awful.
It's just that 1 and 3 were better.
And it introduced Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a little unfair because, at least in my opinion, Iron Man 3 is one of the best of the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah. I still like Iron Man 3.
Hmm.
Civil War is probably my number 1 right now. Iron Man 3 is number 2. It got stolen by Civil War.
I think it's my number 2 as well, but my number 1 would be Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Oh man, Winter Soldier would be my 3. Guardians of the Galaxy will be my 4.
My number 1 is the original Avengers mostly for nostalgic reasons of just how good it felt.
That's my number 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually break it down, it's not that great, but for the time, for what it is, for everything that built up to it, that's what makes it my favorite and why I will always go back to rewatch it sometimes. Probably a second would be the original Captain America.
I watched.
That was a lot of fun.
I think I watched the first Avengers film at least 3 or 4 times in the theater, seeing it with different groups of friends each time. Oh man.
Yeah, it's hard to. It seems like the Marvel movies are more like a pyramid, where you have like movies of similar quality versus a ranking of this is best, second best, third best, because some of them have just such great qualities to them that it's hard to pick one over the other, especially when you're trying to compete with I would be hard pressed to choose between Civil War and Winter Soldier, just because they're very different movies. They have different goals in mind, but they do such great things with the things that they have.
Yeah.
And they have different problems to them as well. So it's harder to figure out. So it's harder for me to list them out as opposed to, again, the pyramid of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I will say unequivocally, Civil War is the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
See, I like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
The Sam
thank you
Raimi
very
ones
much.
are not at all bad. Particularly the second one. But no, the Sam Raimi ones are not at all bad. But still, what they did in Civil War is everything I want out of a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Even if he was only in it for 15 minutes, it still hit the key points of what I feel like a Spider-Man movie should be. Because I feel like the best Spider-Man was the first couple years of the comic.
I'm still just laughing at the fact that Spider-Man in Civil War had more lines of dialogue than Superman and Batman v Superman.
Really?
They counted it.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
Failure.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange is better than that.
Oh God, yes. For one thing, the fight. I mean, even if we were going to break down this just in terms of fight scenes, is Batman v Superman's ending fight. I found it incredibly boring myself. I found it. I mean, there were some moments, but it's just lots more stuff happens to Superman. Let's just keep throwing bullets. Let's put some kryptonite powder in him, and Batman punches him. The fight scenes in this are actually imaginative. Where you it took thought to say, okay, we see women coming back into car and driving back away from the crash. I love that reverse time fight.
We see someone like crush a building from folding reality in the mirrorverse or whatever. Oh. So let's talk casting. Bumbersnitch was Cumberbatch.
Yes, Bumblebee Cumberbund. Great American accent.
Yeah, like, it sound like he did a good job with his accent.
Again, it's Dr. House in the Marvel movies.
But it had that, because he's, like, British, it had that, like, a bit of air of an American trying to sound more educated, so they try to be a bit more British in their mannerisms, but they're still American.
Which might even be a deliberate choice by Bandersnatch Crinklehorn. Because he's, like, that fits Doctor Strange's character to, like, try to put on those kinds of airs.
Yeah, Badger Tom Casserole is...
That's a good one.
Is really good in this role. And I was, like, kind of worried about him in this role. I thought he was... Actually, that was good casting.
I think the only weakness of his voice... the voice for Bendy Straw Cucumber was when he tried to yell or be more imposing, speak up, and that's understandable. You train your voice, to say an accent in a specific way, and then trying to adapt. When you change your vocal inflections and change the way you're talking, it's harder to maintain that facade.
Yeah, Blinky Bill Cantaloupe also worked well with Rachel McAdams.
And I like her.
I'm glad. Like,
I wish there was
like,
more of her in the movie.
I'm like, oh man, Rachel McAdams is in the MCU. Hope she gets a role or shows up more, because I like that actress.
I would not be surprised if there were more deleted scenes of them interacting and doing things together, because like I said, it feels like the subplot is incomplete. But it really does feel like he becomes more of an asshole after the accident than before it, and so it does so. It's still fine. He's still arrogant. He's just not quite there, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? Other supporting cast. Remember, Wong was great.
Yeah.
He was great.
I love every scene in the library with Wong.
Yes.
And then him listening to music.
And then him laughing at the end.
Finally laughing.
That was funny.
Now I just want someone to just read a list of all the different names for Busy Bee. I can't even think of one.
I would love for Benedict Cumberbatch to read off the list of names.
Of different names parodying his to Wong. Just both in character at that.
Blinky Bay Kerfuffle. And of course, the big problem, the problematic casting choice, which was Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One.
Which was the reason why I didn't want to see this at first.
Because of the whitewashing.
But then we had that article from the director.
Yeah, where basically he said that it was accidental. He feared that the Ancient One being portrayed as an Asian by an Asian actor would make the character come across as stereotypical. And then didn't realize afterwards, oh crap, this has actually pissed off a lot of people. I'm very sorry.
Mostly because there's, in so many movies, you don't really have Asian actors playing Asian roles.
Especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where there is such a lack of Asian characters and Asian actors.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's actually the real problem. Like, I actually kind of agree that, like, if you go back and read the comics, the Ancient One is an incredibly stereotypical character. And it would have been a different kind of problem, but it still would have been a problem to have that character played by an Asian actor.
Now, they did have it played by a woman, so a female Asian actor.
Make it like Michelle Yeoh.
That could have worked.
Who was just signed on to Star Trek Discovery, so...
Yeah, I saw that.
Can't wait
She's
for
gonna be
that.
captain.
I've heard they haven't actually declared what her character will be yet, and that people just assume she will be captain because she's a 45-year-old woman in, is it 54? It's either 45 or 54, I can't remember.
And they do usually announce what captains first.
Well, but the captain is usually the main character, and that's not true in Discovery.
Yeah, and I remember reading some forum discussion about this, that it'll be a really cool idea if she was a lieutenant who was an older woman who just her career had stalled.
That would be pretty cool.
But we don't know for certain what her casting is in. But I think she would make a great Ancient One.
Yeah, I could see that.
And she could pull off the fight scenes necessary. I'm sure that Tilda Swinton probably had a stunt double.
Oh, Tilda Swinton is like she had like under her belt a bunch of kind of nerd niche movies like Constantine.
I loved her in Constantine.
Yeah.
And I liked Constantine, the original, the one with
Keanu Reeves.
With Keanu Reeves. I liked that movie.
I actually did like it, but I watched it when I was much younger. I'm not sure how I feel about it now.
Oh, I watch it if only for the devil.
Yeah.
Because he's so perfect as Satan and so happy that I finally got you. And then I lose you, and okay, you want to go up to heaven? I love it.
Now I want to see the guy who plays Mick Rory on Legends of Tomorrow play Satan.
Wait, Rory?
Because he has that voice exactly.
Ah.
And it would be great.
So yeah, I'm not sure because she did fine with the role. We always knew she would do fine with it.
Yeah.
It's just Marvel, do better. You can do better.
But they tried and they failed to do better. So 0.5 points.
Okay, here's how you solve it. Michelle Yeoh plays Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. Kind of too late for that, but okay.
I'd say yeah,
it's kind of too late. We just saw the movie.
I know.
The movie's been a month out.
Well, people have been saying that the way to fix it is to make Iron Fist Asian.
But they've already cast him.
But they've already cast him, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, Lewis, you know more about comic book history than all of us. Asian character in Marvel Universe.
Asian characters that currently exist in the Marvel Universe?
Currently, past, whatever.
What's his face? The super genius who is now the Hulk.
Damn, I don't know.
I can't remember his name. Amadeus Cho.
What are they from?
He's from the Hulk series. He was a friend of the Hulk, super genius.
Never.
And right now, since Bruce Banner is dead, spoiler, Amadeus Cho has become the new Hulk.
I never got into Hulk, so
and yeah, I'm struggling to think of other Asian characters. I know they're out there. A lot of them are villains. And of course, we try to keep shoving Wolverine into Asian settings.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
Speaking of trailers, like
we got Old Man Logan, aka The Last of Us, the movie.
Yeah,
which actually looks like it could be good.
Oh sure, I don't doubt it. It's probably gonna be good. Having Patrick Stewart back in it is also good.
I just hate X-Men anything. Ugh.
The last 3 movies were okay.
I know. It's just I don't like X-Men.
And technically, Deadpool is an X-Men movie.
No.
Man, you have this big mansion and only 2 X-Men. Almost as if the
Shut your mouth, Jed.
Almost
Deadpool is awesome.
Almost if the studio could only afford 2 X-Men.
Deadpool is not one of the X-Men, so it doesn't count. You leave my baby alone.
But when they inevitably get around to Deadpool and Cable,
Shut
that's
up.
Gonna be even more tight to X-Men.
No. Get out my house. Get out my house. Go back to your book house.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What other characters could we have? They already cast Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I
want Miss Marvel to be a movie.
I was going to say, they have to have the post-credits stinger for Captain Marvel be like just
Kamala Khan?
Just pan across a teenage girl's bedroom, and there's a Captain Marvel poster on the wall, and then like you pan down and see that it's, Kamala Khan, like asleep in the bed or something.
Even if they didn't do the movie, just that little call out to the comics would be great, because I love those comics so much.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We're already on Captain Marvel. See, the funny thing is, Viga and I just recently watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time, and man, it was fun for me because crap ton of Asian character actors I recognize from like everything else under the sun, all together in one movie, and that would manage to get lots of memorable instances and characters out of that. Even if even if some of them felt like small roles, they were still in there, and I felt like we could do the same with the Marvel Cinematic Universe if they just tried.
Yeah.
At least we had a black person, but now they're evil. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. But hey, they're pretty obviously setting up for I'm blanking on his name. Captain America's sidekick.
Falcon.
Yes. For him to take over as Captain America.
Much like how he's done so in the comics.
Yeah. And we're gonna get Black Panther.
Black Panther should be fun.
Oh, the
Oh, do we know if Black Panther's supposed to come before Avengers, Infinity War, or after it?
I can't wait till. I just can't wait for it.
I think it's
I want it tomorrow.
before.
I want it tomorrow.
I can't remember anymore. And
Because I think it's 2017, and I don't think Infinity War is until 2018.
And I've heard that Infinity War has now been reduced back to one movie, which I actually think is a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we gotta check the fact on that. Because it might have been just a rumor.
And if it's true, then no, split it back up again. Yes, I know we hate having two-part movies, but let's face it, if this brings in everybody, including Guardians of the Galaxy, the new characters we're introducing, all the ones we already have in the Avengers, I mean, just look at how many characters were in Civil War, and how many we're going to add after that. 2 movies is better to encompass all of this, because this is the big thing. This is our big... I mean, the Avengers was a small-time crossover event. This is the big one. This is the company-wide crossover. This is our... I mean, even the original Infinity... This is the Infinity Gauntlet. This stars everybody. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only way I would... If it has to be 2 movies, here's how I would want it. Same year they come out. One's in May. One's at the end of the summer, like September.
Yep.
Maybe even put it out during Christmas if you want to get the Christmas people too.
Do the Kill Bill approach, film a 4-hour movie, and then split it in 2.
Yeah.
Same year, just a few months apart. That way, we're not waiting in agony.
Yeah.
Holy crap, is the mic on?
Yes, the mic is on.
Just thought it came in my mind.
I got for crying out loud.
Is the mic on, Lewis?
Yes!
Jed, he left the mic off once doing
We
a
did a
3-hour
3-hour PO unboxing.
So every time we have to do a video together, I'm like, is the mic on? Comment below if the mic's not on.
So what trailers did we get? I mean, is there anything left to say about Doctor Strange?
It was strange.
It wasn't as strange as I was hoping. I was hoping for something really out there.
Like I said, we needed more spiritualism and more philosophic, you know, that we needed, odd as it seems, it needed to be more like The Matrix. Free your mind kind of thing. And we had a bit of that. We had a bit of that with the Ancient One leaving him on Mount Everest, which, by the way, it's not just the cold he has to worry about. At that altitude, he should be having trouble breathing.
Yep.
Well, at least he came in like all out of breath and cold as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. How they were like waiting, like, oh, he'll get it.
Maybe I should go get him.
No.
Like,
I think we killed him.
I was hoping for some, like, weird, trippy, like, out-of-body stuff. Like they had early in the movie. But it was, like, they rushed through that, you know? And I would have liked to spend a little more time on that. And maybe you just have... Like, maybe you drop one of the less inspired fight scenes to make room for it.
You know what it needed? It needed... This should have been more like Asian cinema. Especially a more thoughtful martial arts piece. You know, not necessarily like, you know, heavy on philosophy, big on, you know, epic wireworks fight scenes. It's basically like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with more poetic language.
And Marvel filter.
Yeah.
I'm calling it the Marvel filter, because all these movies do have a certain look to them.
Because I would have been okay if we only got, like, the first New York fight scene and... or the fight scene at the beginning of the movie with the Ancient One, the fight scene in New York with, like, the doors, and the, like, out-of-body thing.
And the Iconian Gateway.
Yeah. And the last fight scene with the time travel. Like, I would have been totally okay if they just dropped that whole, like, running on falling apart city thing, because...
It's cool.
It's cool, but we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically a cross between Inception and Star Trek Beyond.
And
it's
what
like
if...
we've seen those things.
We've seen gravity-defying fight scenes before.
Yeah, but it's a Marvel movie, so you have to have at least some action, but maybe they should
Which is why I left in 3 entire fight scenes.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe they should have thought outside the box for it. Because now that we have been through many Marvel movies now, we're kind of starting to see that the formula, the formula that's starting to become a rigid, like,
And again,
fill in the blanks sort of thing.
it's not that it's bad.
Yeah, because it does make good product.
It's just, it can be better.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
I basically just I wanted to see like something involving his consciousness expanding, like some sense, like for me the gold standard is Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man, in terms of like comic book mind expanding kind of stuff.
We needed a "there is no spoon" moment.
Right. There is no spoon. I can see you. That kind of moment.
I just want fan art of Steven Universe as Doctor Strange, with the two shields being the Rose's shield.
Alright, trailers. What do we get? We got Old Man Logan.
We got
Rogue One.
Rogue One, which I'm actually not that excited about. Has the hype been big?
Not as big as Force Awakens, but that's because we know where all this leads up. But you know what? It still looks like it'll be a fun Star Wars or side story, especially because it looks like there ain't going to be any Jedi running around.
Yeah, screw side story. I just want, Episode 8. We got Pirates 5.
Pirates 5 teaser. I still haven't seen Pirates 4.
You're not missing anything.
What else do we get? I feel like we got another superhero movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, sorry, saw online.
No.
Yeah, speaking of Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell's supposed to be in this. I hear as Ego the Living Planet.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait.
That's awesome.
And somehow Ego the Living Planet is also maybe Star-Lord's dad. I don't know. This is what I hear. People tell me things.
Well, they both have an ego.
But still, perfect casting as Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah. We saw whatever Valerian is.
Oh yeah, some weird science fiction movie from Luc Besson, the guy from the guy behind The Fifth Element, which means it might be really damn good.
Yeah, all I know is the guy they cast in it looks like the guy you would beat up in middle school.
Were you a bully in middle school?
Nerd.
You can't have my lunch money.
Give me your lunch money.
No.
Give me your lunch money, nerd! And you too, nerd!
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, tickle. See, this is how you really bully people. You tickle them. Anything else we got?
Yeah, on that Valerian thing, I was just gonna say, I think the best we could expect is something like The Fifth Element, where it's kind of dumb, but it looks so amazing you don't care.
I love Fifth Element.
It's hard to pick. Why do we love The Fifth Element so much?
I like it visually, and I like Bruce Willis. And
the story's not bad either, and there's some
but it's ridiculous.
What's Chris Tucker's character? Was it Chris Tucker?
Not Coburn.
What's his...
Roddy something?
Yes. I don't know.
He's Chris Tucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers Corbin Dallas. Corbin Dallas Multipass.
And then, what was another trailer?
Yeah, because I feel like there was a crap ton of trailers.
It's like we had 30 minutes of trailers. Half those movies.
Trailers.
Yeah, basically that's...
Triple X, which just...
I thought it was going to be Fast 8, so I was excited. Then I saw it was Triple X, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, just for the trailer, it might as well be another Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
Now that we've watched them all, they're very enjoyable in that regard, and they're great action movies, and they're the wonderful soap opera of it, so I'm looking forward to Fast 8.
And they're very hilarious. And I know you scoffed when I said Fast and Furious is actually pretty good.
They are actually pretty good, except for the third one, which is stupid.
I scoffed too.
Well, they're all stupid, but the third one is especially stupid.
You scoffed, I scoffed at them too, and then I watched them all, and I'm like, yes, I am all on the Fast and Furious.
It's very much about the spectacle of it, especially because a lot of it is practical. They only do the things that are impossible in CGI, or at least so difficult to do that the entire budget of the movie would go to it. And it's so worth it. It's so fun. You gotta see them.
I do appreciate good practical effects.
And basically, all the character actions have consequences. It's a soap opera. It's a soap opera and the fourth one is my favorite just because it's dealing with all the fallout from the first movie and everything that happens. Because the second one is kind of a side story involving the main character. The third one is completely unrelated and it's terrible.
And then you got Ocean's 11.
And then then the fifth one is Ocean's 11. Next one is where they just throw out any pretense. We got the government hiring a bunch of carjackers to save the world. It's Armageddon, but less stupid.
And with cars.
And then the seventh one is them dealing with the fallout of the sixth movie because they killed this guy's brother, and now they have to, and that guy's now out for vengeance.
With cars.
And
booty girls.
Yeah, we have you take a shot for male gaze.
Yeah, booty girls.
And then die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget, take a shot for family.
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 Han was family.
Doctor Strange was family.
Yeah, you would like him. We also got The Great Wall, some weird fantasy thing with Matt Damon.
Yeah, I heard things about that, and
see, now that has more Asian people in it.
Well, what's interesting is, at least what I've heard, is that that's actually a Chinese movie made for the Chinese audience, and the American ads are exaggerating Matt Damon's role.
Huh.
And making it seem like the white guys are the main characters when they're actually not.
Because Hollywood.
Because Hollywood. That's what I've heard. I have no idea if it's actually true.
I can believe it.
I'm not really interested in seeing it anyway.
My problem with it, though, is that ever since Return of the King, it's just not as impressive to see these huge 10,000 army kind of a deals, fighting against an besieged location. It's just not as cool a spectacle to see anymore because I've seen it now dozens and dozens of times.
Yes, yes, good CG with people, yay.
Now, if they combine that with interesting wire fighting, that could be cool.
Because it looked like they were fighting weird fantasy demon creatures.
Okay, I got it. Fast and the Furious 9. 10,000 people sequence of a battle in New York City with cars.
Fast and the Furious in space, where we have to drive along the International Space Station.
Isn't a 10,000 strong battle with cars basically the Blues Brothers?
Yeah.
All right, so Fast and the Furious 9, Blues Brothers 3. Dan Aykroyd and Vin Diesel's character. And Vin Diesel
Dan Aykroyd and Vin Diesel. Just stop there. You got your movie.
We're on a mission from God.
Elwood's family.
The only other trailer I can remember was more of a teaser of a movie called Life, which is this where you described it as the thing in space. Although we're not certain what it was. It looked like it was taking place on the International Space Station. They're doing some kind of weird science-y thing, and then like the sample seemed to grab a guy, and they're like, "Oh, do we jet him out into space? We gotta get him out of there!" Kind of a thing. So it looks like there's a lot of paranoia and things running around. It looks like it might be good, and I like base under siege stories like that.
Yeah, it's the thing in space.
Well, we don't know if it's a thing. It might not be taking over guys. It might just be paranoia in general.
Maybe. But it's the thing in space.
Yep. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts in general?
That was a strange tale.
Bye.